Tackling South Oroville's blight problem, one building at a time. Action News Now reporter Sade Pullen shows us the progress being made.
If you've driven through the south side of Oroville, you might have noticed some blighted buildings like the ones here. But Councilmember Janet Goodson says this issue is being handled.
In the past few years, like we've never seen before, the cleanup process by the city is a lot swifter.
Goodson tells me that things are being cleaned up thanks to code enforcement, public works, local law enforcement, and the city code enforcement attorney. She says the south side of Oroville has had a lot of blighted buildings. She says many of these properties are abandoned and occupied by squatters. Goodson says it feels like the south side of Oroville looks unpresentable due to the blighted buildings and that it keeps people away from moving to Oroville. Goodson says so far they have cleaned up 5 properties on the south side of Oroville and have demolished 3 blighted buildings.
It just brings those property values down. So with the code enforcement and with OPD, MLEs, holding people's feet to the fire, we are seeing those improvements. And that
Goodson says cleaning up these properties has been a team effort. She says usually the blighted buildings usually get reported by someone in the community. Once reported, code enforcement will contact the property owner. If the property owner is not living there or missing, citations could be issued. If the property is labeled a public nuisance, a warrant could be issued by a judge to follow up for a cleanup and to remove any squatters that may be there.
we are able to enforce those that are cited. We now have a code enforcement attorney that works in the judicial system with our judges, and we have been receiving warrants for those properties that have been they're considered a public nuisance.
I spoke with one woman who used to live near a blighted building on Roseman Avenue and C Street. She says the experience living next to a property like that has been anything but pleasant. She eventually moved to get away from the mess.
And I had people squatting there every single day. There would be starting fires there. I would have to call PG&E out. There'd be people overdosing on drugs there. It was like...
Evans tells me that the police were called daily to handle the homeless. After she moved, she said her quality of life has improved, and she said that she's glad to see these cleanups happening. Reporting in Oroville, I'm Sade Pullen with Action News Now.
Goodson says one of the properties that was recently cleaned up was sold just last week.
New at 6.